Hey guys, Graham Hancock here for Rev3 Games. As you know, Ghost Recon Future Soldier comes out this week, and we had a really cool opportunity to shoot some footage in the middle of the desert with actual guns and night vision scopes and thermal scopes with our friend Richard Ryan from Rated RR at YouTube. He invited a good friend of his, Philly D, over to shoot some guns and see what the actual weapons that are being used in Ghost Recon Future Soldier are like in real life. So Revision 3 sent me down to help out with the shoot, which meant that I was flying down to LA at 8 a.m. in the morning and then driving out into the middle of the desert with Richard Ryan, and it was really cool. We spent 2 hours getting out of LA, and then we turned off of the highway onto a dirt road and spent another 2 hours driving on a dirt road all the way out past the point of no return. I mean, if anything were to have happened, we were hours away from any sort of help or assistance. So literally the middle of the desert, as you can see from like these GPS coordinates that I marked on my phone while we were out there. Once we got out there, we started setting up the base camp. We have a tent, a lot of equipment that they were using to maintain the thermal cameras and set up the shots and all that stuff. We also had actual explosives with us that we were going to shoot with the gun later and see what it would be like to see an explosion on a thermal camera. So it was pretty cool. First things first, we actually test fired a few times with Philly D, getting used to the gun, learning how to shoot, all the basic safety precautions he needed to take, and Phil seemed to really take to it. The first actual setup was Philly D shooting at bottles of water and soda behind a black tarp. So he couldn't actually see these things with his eyes, but once he looked through the scopes, they were shining up bright white and dark black because the bottles of water were heated up beforehand. So while Philly D was shooting at these bottles of water, we had a little recorder off of his scope on the gun, so we could actually get the footage from what Philly D was seeing when he was shooting at these bottles of water.
That's sick footage. It's like Blair Witch.
You're all on it, man.
The first and the last one were the best.
That was sick.
Yeah.
And then that one I couldn't see, but it was because it was the one I drank. I was like, is there one there?
Good stuff, man. Good shooting.
The next setup was we got even larger bottles of water and actually put a little bit of binary explosives underneath them so that when you shoot the bottles of water, they explode, and on the thermal it just looks like a giant explosion. Usually when I go out on shoots, when the sun goes down, the day is over. We cannot possibly keep shooting because we've lost our main source of light. Not with Richard Ryan. He had thermal scopes and night vision scopes, and they were all hooked up to recorders, so the day went on and we kept shooting. And actually the last shoot with the exploding water bottles was shot in complete and total darkness. We could have not shot this with regular cameras, so that was pretty cool. At around midnight, we were wrapping up, getting around to the final shot of the day, and we had lots of leftover explosives. And you know, these types of things you don't want to take home, so we mixed all of our remaining binary explosives into a large bucket and set that one off, and it ended up being our largest explosion of the day. Now, alongside shooting all of the cool stuff with the thermal optics and tracking people out in the desert like you can in the game, we also were going to shoot some stuff with UAVs, these actual drones that you can build and put the same thermal optics onto and track people from above. We didn't get to shoot that while I was out there, but Philly D and Richard Ryan did go back out to the desert the next weekend and shot a whole other video, and they actually did set up 4 drones, and they flew them around, and they dropped explosives from one of the drones, and it detonates before it hits the ground. So it was really cool to see all of this stuff in action. If you haven't seen these videos, please go check them out, and remember that there are no special effects in any of these videos. It is actually raw, captured from the thermal scopes that we were using, and the explosions are definitely real, not effects. So thanks guys, thanks for watching, and please keep checking out more Rev3 Games.